speak louder than words. You might as well spit on his grave.
Don't say this is the end, 'cause this is far from
Definitely being on stage, playing on stage and performing music that I've written or had a hand in writing is just, it's such a creative release, you know, and I get to vent all my frustration and anger on stage.
you are all that matters.
In terms of my negative feelings towards the internet and music, I feel like because there's so much music available now, people don't really absorb the content that they listen to. It's kind of like they listen to a band for a week and then find a new one and then listen to another album. And what I used to love about music before the internet was just putting on an album and listening to it for months, over and over and over again on repeat. You know, you really get to know the music really well, and I feel like most people don't really dive into music in that way anymore, just because there's so much. And then on the positive side of things, there's so much music as well. It's cool because back in the day you would need a record label to get your music out to people. Now you can do it yourself. So you can kind of cut out the middleman, which means that there's an opportunity for bands to actually make a living out of their music without being signed to a huge label. There's a wider array of music than there ever has been because people can draw from so many different influences that wouldn't have existed before.
You take my own. Will you serve us?
It can be. So the biggest concern would be conflicting gigs. So, you know, I might get a show with Red Helen and then Bob Virginia wants to book me for another show, or at the moment Technopath isn't an issue because we're not gigging, we're just mainly an internet project at the moment. But yeah, that would be the biggest difficulty. In terms of everything else, not really. Creatively it's a lot of fun because I get to explore different styles. It can be difficult, but it's what I do. I love it. So yeah.
I think one big thing as a South African musician, and I'm sure it's a lot worse in other countries, but music here in South Africa is really expensive, in particular cymbals. And as a metal drummer, I tend to go through cymbals and crack them all the time, so that's one thing. The exchange rates and everything here is pretty expensive. As musicians, we've all really grown together and separately in other aspects of the music industry. So yeah, we've all really pushed each other to become better musicians within Red Helen. So it's gone from, I think, more simplistic metalcore to more technical sort of prog. And that's purely just our musicianship, I think, has grown due to the fact that we pushed each other as musicians and as friends.
We walk this forsaken road.
Well, I'm constantly listening to music and constantly listening to audio and sound and that kind of thing. I work in the sound industry, the audio industry. In terms of metal, metal has always had a massive, the first time I remember listening to metal, I was about 10 years old, and I've been listening to it ever since. But I'm an overall music fan. I love music. I think people will be very surprised to find out some of the artists that I actually really enjoy and love. So I listen to metal on a daily basis, but I also listen to tons of other genres of music on a daily basis as well. So it's like more so than just the metal part of it, but music I'm constantly listening to all the time, all day. It's my life, my love, my passion. So, and metal's a massive part of that. Straight out the gate, if the idea is to come into the metal scene to make money and make a living, you're probably wasting your freaking time. Because there is very little money to be made in terms of like the ability to live off of it and make a living out of it. So for me, the motivation to continue in a niche market is the freaking love of it. I love the music. I love getting on stage and screaming my lungs out and expressing myself and releasing those emotions and those demons and those ideas and connecting with people. There's this incredible feeling, and I guess for me, because of being the front man of the band and stuff, you know, it's like I have the awesome opportunity to be able to reach out and touch people and connect with people and look the audience right in the eye, and you know, I love that kind of connection. You get to positively influence people's lives, you know. It's like with your lyrics and with your songs, and sometimes the way people connect with your music isn't even in a way that you intended it, but it positively affects them, you know. And it's like, and that's the most incredible thing, is to speak to people and hear how it's helped them through hard times, depression, suicidal thoughts, all those kind of things, you know. And for me, that's why one of the reasons why I keep doing it is the pure and utter love of doing it, and that incredible ability you have to positively affect other people. And yeah, it's an amazing thing.
Find your own way, wherever it may lead. I'll follow.
My creative process, in one word, guitar pro. Honestly, like if I have a new idea, the first thing I do is to have it out on Guitar Pro. I don't even bother with voice notes or anything. As soon as I get a riff, I do like a guitar riff and usually like a drum beat with it. And then it's just nice to be able to hear your idea in more of like a full picture, like immediately from the get-go, and then you know like where to build it and where to take it from there. Yeah, basically, I mean, there's a lot of like theoretical things I use, and just obviously before that there's like a lot of different riffs that I'll play around with first, but that's just really like messing around and trying to find something that's cool. I wrote some of the lyrics for like 1 or 2 songs on the album, but other than that it's all Brandon and Greg. Yes, if you ever come to a Red Helen show, you'll see that I'm constantly looking down, keeping my head down, trying to get through the set. I hardly ever even look up at the crowd, just because there's so much to concentrate on. Not just, obviously not just playing and singing, but also just like all the different effects and things that I have to like pedal hopping constantly throughout the set. So that keeps me busy. Also, if there's like technical problems, or if there's like an earthing problem in the venue or something, then there's also extra things to worry about. But yeah, it's quite a challenge. What I think people should care more about is the quality of music that's being broadcasted to the masses, because it's literally it's a fact that the lyrics in pop music got progressively dumber over the last 20 years, 30 years, and so has the actual quality of music, like the chord progressions, and obviously the production side has gotten better with the development of technology and whatever, but it's the music, the contemporary music is challenging people's brains less and less. It's becoming more of a thing that you play in the background rather than the music that you listen to and appreciate, which is cool, because then on the opposite side of the spectrum there's the metal scene. There's probably a lot of other genres of music, but I know for a fact the metal scene is like that, where it's progressively getting more interesting, which is great, but I think that kind of music needs to also be more like widely appreciated.